Welcome to day two. You made it. Congratulations. We're going to take a quick stock of where we are headed in the near future here, and then contrast it to kind of where we've been. It'll just be helpful for setting things up. We are about to talk about loops, and we are going to follow that up with two awesome data types, lists and dictionaries. We are going to talk about functions and then the module system, which is how we extend Python. Don't worry about what that means. And I'm going to draw a big line, and underneath that put OOP/classes. Okay? This is where we are heading. Now, in contrast to where we have been, I would say the things that you know now, the skill set that you have, right? Learning to work with variables, right? How data types work, the sort of things around it like casting and interpolation, whatever, right? Conditionals, I would say without that skill set, you can't even really write a program. Yes, the very first thing we did was print hello world to the screen, and technically that's a program. But in order to write a program of any use at all, you cannot possibly do it without the things that we have talked about. I'm going to put loops in that category too. We need loops. But with loops and everything that you have learned so far, I'm going to say something that's going to sound really silly, but I think it's true. You have the ability at that point then to write most programs that you could think of. Now, yes, we don't have a database layer or a file system to interact with, which would be necessary, but you could do it in the same way that if you have the ability to walk, you could walk from any point in Europe, Asia, or Africa to any other point, right? You technically can, right? You can walk because they're all connected by land, but you can't really because there's so many reasons. You have to go through different countries, you'd run out of money, you'd run out of food, you'd die in horrible ways, right? Lots of reasons why that would not work, okay? Even though it's possible, and somebody probably has walked from Siberia to South Africa or from France to Vietnam just to prove that it's been done. And maybe the same way, like, as soon as we had loops, you could probably write a search engine with that database layer, but it might take like 5 billion lines of code or something absurd, right? Just like walking from Siberia to Africa. These things, right? Adding these other data types, functions, modules, that is going to take you from being somebody who has exposure to being able to code, to actually being a programmer, to being able to start writing programs, right? This becomes our car or our motorcycle or even our train or our airplane, because this is the kind of stuff that I do every single day as a professional developer. Okay? OOP and classes I put kind of on its own because that's more of an architecture. This stuff, as well as the things we've already done, I put on the bottom of that pyramid. Remember, we had the pyramid, which was like the hierarchy of programming needs. These are the things at the bottom that you cannot live without. Variables, which we've done. Data types, which we've done. We are going to add to that loops. We did we did conditionals, right? If statements. We've got these other things. Lists, they're actually called arrays in most languages, but array is a slightly different thing in Python. How objects work, and I'm calling an object a dictionary here, etc. Going up that tier is OOP, and I'm saying that because that's more of a way to organize your code. As a JavaScript and Node.js programmer, I mean, I do that a lot in addition to Python and other things. You don't use OOP. It's a functional based language. Doesn't really matter. You can't do Python, modern Python, without writing classes. It's just that's how it's done, and that's how we are going to do it. So we're going to spend a ton of time on this, but we are hitting all of these, and then, like I said, you should feel like a real programmer at that point.